Hi, I'm Nancy Newquist, and this is Rightsizing. I live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, Santa Barbara. Here, you'll find amazing people, fascinating culture, and history. For years, I have helped my clients right-size their lives through real estate, organization, and learning what matters most to them. Join me each week as we explore the world of right-sizing with Nancy.
On this episode of Rightsizing, Nancy is in beautiful downtown Santa Barbara at the Reagan Ranch Center. This museum is dedicated to preserving the legacy of President Ronald Reagan's Santa Barbara Ranch, famously known as the Western White House. Nancy has a very special connection to the ranch's retired chef, Mitzi, and is excited to be with her to learn more about her time with President and Mrs. Reagan.
Well, hello, Mitzi. I'm honored to sit here with you today. And we're at the Reagan Center. We're going to be talking about your life with Ronald Reagan, the President of the United States, when you worked for him. But first, I'd like to talk about how you got to the United States. Can you tell me about that?
Arranged marriage.
From an arranged marriage?
Yes.
And how did it come about?
Well, I think my parents want to marry this man to be, nice family and a nice, but yeah.
So your parents arranged the...
Yes, everything, so I have to obey.
And you had to obey.
Yes.
And so you moved to the United States.
Yes.
And you did marry this man.
Yes.
And I guess you were in Hawaii first?
Yes, Honolulu.
He was in the military.
Military, yes.
And so you were a military wife, so you traveled.
Yes. Oh, yes. Many places.
Many places?
Yes.
And I know that the marriage ended.
Yes.
And then you said you were looking at a magazine, and that's how you decided to move to Santa Barbara?
Yes, just a fascinating city, small, and then I don't like a big city.
Okay.
And so...
And what year was this?
It was 1970, and then I have to find a job. So I found a job at the El Encanto Hotel.
Okay.
I was a waitress.
Right.
Yeah, from that was so early in the morning to late night I have to work. So I changed it to a Japanese restaurant.
And you were working there as a waitress.
Yes.
And a lady would come in often. And her name was?
Shirley Pierce Herbert Connor.
Shirley Pierce Hoover Connor?
Yes.
Okay, and Shirley was a relative of?
President Hoover's.
President Hoover.
Yes.
So you waited on Shirley often, I heard.
Yes.
And after waiting on Shirley, she asked you a question.
To come up to see what I live, and I would like to take care of my husband.
Okay.
And then she asked me, how to cook. So I said, I know how to cook Japanese food.
Right.
And she likes so much Japanese food. That's when I started.
So you quit your job at the restaurant?
Yes.
And you moved up to
the ranch.
To the ranch.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the ranch?
View of the World.
How long did you live with Shirley?
16 years.
16 years.
Yes.
Okay, and Shirley brought you into a new world, correct?
Yes. Oh, my life is completely changed. It's fantastic. Wonderful.
And how did she change your life?
Well, number one, she doesn't like to go out to eat, so she likes to cook.
Okay.
And not just the Japanese food. So she sent me to Cordon Bleu School in France.
And then she was friends with the Reagans.
Yes,
And
very much.
Very much.
Yeah.
How did you come to receive the offer to work with the Reagans?
After my lady passed away, then I did everything for Mr. Reagan.
Oh, okay. But when Shirley was still alive, you went between her ranch and the Reagan ranch.
Yes.
And when the Reagans were in town, you went to help them.
Yes.
When you were hired, you said under only one condition. What was that condition?
Well, I have pets. German Shepherd.
A German Shepherd?
And then 2 birds.
Big birds?
Yes, African Gray.
African Gray.
And a parrot.
And a parrot? And that was the condition that your animals?
If I can't take my pet with me, then I can take this job. But you know, after I say that, I say, oh my goodness, what I'm saying, you know, oh my gosh. but they accept me.
They accepted you. And so you took the job and your animals went with you every time you went to live at the ranch, the animals, and did the birds live in the house?
Yes. And
in your bedroom, right?
No, in the living room.
The birds lived in the living room?
Yes. And then Mr. Reagan teach Yankee Doodle.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
Fun. What was your German Shepherd's name?
Shachi.
And I understand that Mr. Reagan loved your dog.
Yes, very much. Yes.
And wanted it to stay there longer?
Yes.
But that was your dog.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it went back and forth with you. Mitzi, I understand that what you're wearing today was a gift. And can you tell me about those?
This sweater belonged to Mrs. Reagan.
That was Mrs. Reagan's sweater?
Yes.
Well, it's beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then do you want to tell me about your pin?
This is Mr. Reagan gave it to me. His favorite horse.
His favorite?
That's what he told me.
That's what he told you? And you said he gave it to you for Valentine's Day?
Yes, I think Valentine's Day for a little gift. That's what he gave it to me.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yes.
And you also have Ronald Reagan's book here.
Yes.
And he inscribed this to you. And it says, Dear Mitzi, with appreciation and very best wishes, Ronald Reagan. And that was in 1991.
Yes.
He gave this to you.
Yes.
Well, that's a wonderful gift.
Yes.
Let's head up to the ranch, and then you can show us more memories of your life with the Reagans.
Thank you so much. I love it.
You love it. Okay.
Stay tuned. Rightsizing will be right back.
We understand that replacing your windows is a big investment. That's why we encourage you to call us, Bayview Windows and Doors, for a free, no-obligation in-home estimate. And our design staff will make sure you get the right Milgard windows at the right price. We're the one-stop shop for Milgard Windows and Doors, and we're going to save you a lot of money.
Bayview Windows and Doors.
Nobody does it better than Bayview Windows and Doors.
Call or visit us today.
In the hills above Santa Barbara is Rancho del Cielo. Here, Ronald and Nancy Reagan enjoyed time away from the White House, held special events, and entertained prominent figures from around the world.
Well, Mitzi, here we are up at the ranch, and it was quite a drive on the way up here. What was it like for you for the first time?
Very exciting.
Very exciting?
Yes.
And I know you brought your animals up with you the very first time.
Yes.
And every time.
Yes.
Yes. And so what car did you have to put the animals in?
Honda Accord.
Did you have the birds in a cage?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you drove up.
Yes.
And when you got here, let's say before the Reagans arrived, what would you do?
Not lots of things, but
You'd get the house set up?
because I have the room that only have is a 2 fireplace,
Oh.
no heating system.
So you came up and prepared the house before
Yes.
they showed up.
Takes a long time.
For that, because it's adobe, an old
Yes,
adobe house.
yes.
So while you're warming up the house, before they show up, you've got, let's say they contact you to come here.
Yes.
How did they contact you, and who contacted you?
Reagan's office write me letter.
They would write you a letter.
Yes.
I think that's fascinating. No telephone call.
No phone call.
Okay, and what would they say in the letter?
Is they're gonna come on certain day until this day, leaving.
Okay.
And make sure breakfast and lunch and dinner menu I like you make and send to me.
So they asked you for the menus
Yes.
for every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You would write it out or type it out?
No writing.
Write it out.
Yes.
And then you had to mail it back
Yes.
to the White House.
Yes.
And they had to, Nancy had to approve it.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And once Nancy approved it, then you knew what the menu would be.
Yes.
And you told me that Nancy never changed the menu for you.
No, never.
Never?
Not even once.
Not even once. That's fantastic. But I find it really interesting is you never went to Vaughn's grocery store.
No.
How did you get all the food for the
Everything is
Reagan?
natural. Actually, I had to go drive all the way to Camarillo. And then they have a wonderful farmer there.
It was an organic farm,
yes,
wasn't it?
Japanese, yeah.
Japanese
farmer.
organic farmer?
That's why I buy everything there.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you talked about also getting meat close by.
Yes. I had to go to Winchester Canyon.
Winchester Canyon?
Yes. And then they grow everything organic.
An organic,
Yes.
Okay. So the beef was organic,
Yes.
and then all the vegetables were organic?
Eggs, everything.
And eggs? Well, Mitzi, when you first got up here, your very first time, you came 3 days early,
Yes.
and you would walk the property,
Yes.
and there was no issue. And then one day something happened. What happened?
Mr. and Mrs. Reagan was already here in asleep because I was working at 4:30 in the morning, and I had to take my dog out for
For a walk, yeah. And you'd done this before, so it seemed like
yeah, first day, yes, I did. Second days, I did. And third days, I did. Fourth day, wow, something happened.
And what happened? And this was early in the morning, right?
Yes, and I think 4 people, gentlemen, and then pointed gun on me.
Oh,
Yes, because they didn't know I was here.
right. Oh, they didn't know you were here with the Reagans.
Yes.
And at 4:30 in the morning,
Yes.
what the heck are you doing?
Right here.
Right here,
Here.
huh? This location. That would be scary,
Very much so.
especially
Then-
if you've never done anything
No,
like this
no.
before. Yeah.
And then I had the permission to walk every morning, 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but I never did it because I was
Once
so
was
scared.
enough. Huh?
Yes.
So when you lived up here at the ranch, your window was right there.
Yes, that's my bedroom.
That was your bedroom.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll go in and see your
Yes.
bedroom, won't we?
Yes.
And then what's your most memorable thought of Ronald Reagan at the ranch here? Is there anything that you think?
Oh, very, very impressed is when he talked to the horse, you know, before he leave ranch, he go back to Los
White House?
Angeles.
Yeah.
He talked to the horse, thank you so much. And I had a wonderful ride. And then, just because I'm crazy about animal.
Right.
And that really touched my heart.
That's
I
wonderful.
really never forget it.
You'll never forget that? Yeah. Well, that's
And then
that's
also
really
thank you to me, and then my dog,
Mm-hmm.
and then my
and your birds. And so we're going to go inside and we're going to see where you cooked
Yes.
and where you lived.
all right.
The most important part of real estate is making your clients feel at home. Nancy has spent her career doing just that. For her, the focus is entirely on the client, listening to their wants and knowing their needs. The only way this is done is by building personal relationships with each and every client. Nancy is a seniors real estate specialist and an expert right-sizer. Her previous work in antiques and estate sales has given her the experience to help her clients through every step of the real estate process, from assessing the items in the house to helping hold real estate sales and preparing the home with any necessary renovations. As a distinguished member of the Santa Barbara community, Nancy has a wide network of connections, helping provide the best price and quality no matter what the need is. Nancy knows that buying or selling a home is never a one-size-fits-all. By partnering with Nancy, you will receive real estate experience tailored to you and your needs. Welcome back to Rightsizing. Nancy and her dear friend Mitzi are currently touring the historic Reagan Ranch, where Mitzi cooked for President and Mrs. Reagan during and after his presidency. Let's learn more about Mitzi's time at the ranch.
We're in the kitchen of the Reagan Ranch. Can you tell me what memories this brings back to you?
I have so many memories here. Yes, of course I did something outstanding. Sometimes I did boo-boo, mistake, drop, and I have a wonderful, wonderful memory.
Yeah, it's
I cook everything here.
You cook everything here.
Yes.
And even on an electric stove, huh?
Yes, fantastic.
And what was Ronald's favorite meal?
I follow maybe 50% is Mr. Reagan's mother's recipe.
His mother's recipe?
Yes, very simple and delicious.
Okay, and what was that though?
Number one is he likes the corned beef.
Oh, corned beef.
Corned
Okay.
beef and cabbage.
And not just on St. Patrick's Day, huh?
No.
Okay.
That's he likes so much. And then, but Mrs. Reagan is, tell me, take it easy.
Take it
Too
easy.
salty.
Oh, too salty.
Yes.
Okay. Did she guide you a lot on his meals?
Sometimes salty things.
On salty
yes.
things?
And then sweet things. Yes.
And what did Mrs. Reagan like to eat? What was her favorite meal?
She's not too picky.
No?
Yeah, but she doesn't eat a lot. She eats so
doesn't-
little.
Yeah.
But yes, everything Mr. Reagan eat, and then she eats too. Yes.
Yeah. And I heard that you did a little change of his dessert one time.
Yes, because when I start the work, maybe 3 months later, Mrs. Reagan said, Mr. Reagan gained 7 pounds after you start the work, because I don't want to say because Mr. Reagan like a Haagen-Dazs ice cream. He liked to eat that. So then I changed the menu. And then I use Haagen-Dazs container, but I make tofu ice cream. And then he didn't know, and then he just crazy about it.
He thought that was
Yes.
he thought it was Haagen-Dazs.
Yes, yes.
And he
because
had no
container.
idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
And who were some of the famous people you cooked for, Mitzi?
I don't know. They don't introduce me, so I don't know who I was cooking.
Oh, you
Only
were-
I know is first name.
Oh, okay.
So really important people,
Okay.
I don't know.
You did meet the Gorbachevs
Yes,
one
I did.
time, and you
Yes.
knew that was them.
Yes.
Right. And did you see the Queen too?
Yes, I did.
Did you cook for the Queen?
No, I didn't.
No, she
Yes.
just came up.
Yes,
Okay.
I just made for just a little dessert. That's it. Good memory.
Yeah, and this is good memories,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
All the little goodies. And I
I
guess
use a telephone book to stand, and when I cut in,
because this is
because
too
I'm short. you
You're
see.
short, yeah. Well, the telephone books work good, don't
Yes,
they? Yeah. Mitzi, let's walk into the main room and we can talk some more.
All right.
When we come back, Mitzi will discuss fond memories of the president and how in later years she and Nancy Newquist came together at a difficult time to forge a wonderful friendship.
Mitzi, we're in the living room now of the Reagan Ranch, and what an amazing little piece of history here. And did you notice the president's seal behind us? And it's made out of nails that was given to President Reagan when he was here. Can you share any memories with us, with you and the Reagans?
Little game.
You would play games?
Yes.
And what game would you play?
I don't know what they call that game. But it's good for the mind.
It was good for the mind game.
Yes.
Well, while you were here working with the Reagans, did you ever serve cocktails for
Never.
them? Never?
Never.
They didn't drink?
No.
Or did they have friends that would come up for a glass of wine, or?
No.
No? No, just not interested?
No.
Well, that's good. You have a clear head.
Mrs. Reagan and Mr. Reagan
That's
like to watch wonderful television.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
But you didn't watch television, and so you would, what would you do in your spare time while you were
I go
here?
into my room and play puzzle.
You play with a puzzle? That would
Or
be...
play with a rhino.
Or play with Rhino, your bird, of course, of course. You told me that Shirley Hoover and President Reagan both said something very special to you. Can you tell me what that was?
This is an opportunity country. If you know how to use it, then you can have a job. But if you don't, then you have to look for some other job.
And you felt
So
right
I like
then
it. Oh, yes.
that what an opportunity you
Yes,
had.
yes,
It, with
exactly.
both Shirley
Yes.
and President Reagan.
Yes.
That's very wonderful.
Yes.
What a great thing to say. Mitzi, was it emotional leaving the ranch, and why did everybody go?
Well, when Mr. Reagan and I talked sometime in the dining table when you're playing the game, and then he said to me was when I lived in Japan and a teenager, and then my parents always say, don't think about tomorrow, just think about today, just 24 hours. Tomorrow not even exist. So if you live that way for your life, it's much simple because not much problem. President said something like that too. That's why I said to myself, wow, just like my parents. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah. Don't think about tomorrow. Just think about today. Just live today. Be positive and be strong.
And how does it feel to be back here after all these years?
Wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was good times,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Fantastic, wonderful memories.
And Mitzi, after you left the ranch here and you went to Santa Barbara, what did you do then? How did you live?
I was looking for a job, but I'm pretty old, so sometimes I cannot even have a job because they like to see that my personal history you're too old, you know.
But they weren't impressed that you were working for the Reagans?
No make any difference.
Oh, wow. Well, then you got married
Yes.
to Paul Roberts.
Yes.
And you sailed, and then you moved also to Oxnard, right?
Yes.
And you had a nice life with Paul.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was a wonderful husband too.
Yes.
And he loved your dogs and your birds
boy,
and
yes.
Mitzi. He loved everything.
Yes.
And he loved Japanese food?
Very, very much.
Very
yes.
much, that's good. And with your time with Paul, he bought a mobile home in Oxnard Shores,
Yes.
and then he passed away.
Yes.
And you didn't have a lot of money left
Yes.
after that. And so how did you and I come to meet?
Well, I have a girlfriend, fantastic girlfriend, working in a bank. She introduced me, wonderful friend, you. Not even 24 hours, not even one day, half a day, I think, sold my place.
Right.
Can you believe?
That was hard. That was quite amazing how that all put
you
together.
helped me so much.
Yeah, we had to put your home up for sale, and Bonnie helped me because she lived close by, and so she helped me.
Yes.
And she would be there, and I would be there, and we'd help with the open house. And we had one buyer come the first day, and he paid cash for it. He let you stay 15 days after so that we could move her out. And we had an estate sale.
Yes.
We had someone come and buy some of your antiques. And we had to right size for you. And that's what the show's all about. How we got from Mitzi's needing to sell her home to selling everything and moving to Santa Barbara. And now you live in a beautiful little studio
Yes.
on my brother's property,
Yes,
Dana's.
yes,
And now you're
fantastic.
part of the family, aren't you?
I don't have a word to say.
It
I
fell
really
into
mean it.
place so well, didn't it?
Just fantastic. You know, my life is just amazed, really.
Right.
And I don't know how to. I don't have a word to. What kind of word I said to them? You know,
Well,
just to say thank you. No, I have to do something.
well, you cook. I know
No,
you
I'm not that cook.
I know you cook a lot.
I used to do a good job,
Yeah.
but now going down.
Well, whenever you go to see Mitzi, she will bless you with some amazing food. And every time I stop by to say hello, she gives me a bag of ravioli and a box of tomato sauce. And it was Ronald Reagan's sauce that he loved. And that's what I get every time I see Mitzi. That's my blessing.
Nancy, I want to say, only I can say it is, I met you.
Yes.
My life changed, you know, to be just outstanding, not just good, just outstanding.
You're going to make me cry.
Because you did. But anyway, I thank you so much. You know, people like you, fantastic.
Well,
make
it
the
was
world beautiful.
Yeah, well, it was an honor helping you. It was truly fun. It was exciting, and it was wonderful to see you get out of what you needed to get out of and into the life that you needed.
But I really, without you, I don't know what I did. You know?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad we helped each other, Mitzi.
But thank you so much.
Oh, sure, Mitzi.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I really mean it. As
Oh, I
long as
mean
I
it
live, I won't forget you.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Mitzi, that is what right-sizing is all about, and I'm so glad I could help you. And I would help you anytime.
Thank you so much.
Oh, anytime.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Rightsizing. Be sure to join Nancy next time for another exciting episode.